Her three daughters called the billionaire CEO mom and got their real mother kicked out. Then the brutal truth came out. The billionaire's wife replaced me as mom until my daughters discovered her devastating secret. The first time my daughter called another woman mom, I was standing in the rain outside a mansion that could fit 10 of my apartments inside it. "Mom's taking us to Paris for spring break," 12-year-old Emma had said through the video call, her eyes bright with excitement that used to be reserved for me. "I'm your mom, sweetheart," I whispered, but she'd already ended the call. That was 6 months ago. Now, I wasn't allowed within 50 feet of my own children. My name is Rachel Torres, and 2 years ago I had everything. A husband I loved, 3 beautiful daughters, and a modest but happy life. Then David met her at a tech conference in Singapore. Vanessa Sterling, self-made billionaire, CEO of Sterling Industries, Forbes 30 Under 30, and the woman who decided my family would look better as hers. The affair lasted 3 months before David asked for a divorce. I fought for my girls, Emma, 10-year-old Chloe, and 7-year-old Mia. But David's new legal team was ruthless. They painted me as unstable, struggling, unable to provide. They weren't entirely wrong. I was a school teacher. David was a corporate attorney who'd just married into a billion-dollar empire. The custody arrangement gave me weekends. Then Vanessa started planning family trips on my weekends. Then the girls started canceling, saying they had better plans. Then they stopped calling me mom altogether. "It's Vanessa," Emma corrected me coldly during our last visit. "She prefers we call her mom, our real mom." I'd stared at my daughter, this child I'd grown inside me, nursed through midnight fevers, taught to read, and barely recognized her. That's when I received the legal notice. David was petitioning for full custody. The girls had testified, through written statements, that they wanted to live with Vanessa full-time, that I made them uncomfortable, that they felt unsafe around me. All lies, but lies told by children are the most dangerous kind. I called the one person I thought might help, David's sister, Nicole. We'd been close once, before the divorce. "Rachel." Her voice was strained when she answered. "I can't talk to you." David said, "Please," I begged. "Nicole, those are my daughters. Something's wrong. I can feel it." Silence. Then, "Meet me at Riverside Park. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. Tell no one." Nicole looked like she hadn't slept in weeks. She handed me a thick manila envelope with shaking hands. "I could lose everything for this," she said, "but those are my nieces, and what Vanessa's doing, it's evil." Inside the envelope were documents that made my blood run cold. Therapy notes from Dr. Miranda Ashford, a psychologist Vanessa had been taking the girls to see 3 times a week. But these weren't normal therapy notes. Patient Emma shows continued resistance to alienation protocol. Recommend increased rewards for compliance. Consider limiting contact with biological mother to accelerate attachment transfer. Patient Chloe responding well to narrative restructuring. Now refers to mother as Rachel, without prompting. Mother role successfully transferred to fifths. Patient Mia still asking for mommy Rachel. Recommend fifths. Increase physical affection and provide tangible rewards for use of mom title. Consider scripting for court testimony. She's been brainwashing them, Nicole said, tears streaming down her face. Systematically. There's more. Vanessa did this before. She pulled out newspaper articles from 7 years ago. Vanessa's first marriage to a man named James Sterling, who'd died in a suspicious car accident. James had a daughter from a previous marriage, a girl named Sophia. After James's death, Vanessa had fought for custody of Sophia, claiming the girl saw her as a mother. The biological mother, Catherine Sterling, had fought back with allegations of manipulation and psychological abuse. Catherine had won, barely, but lost everything in legal fees fighting a billionaire. "I found Catherine," Nicole said. "She lives in Oregon now. She'll testify, Rachel. She'll tell them exactly what Vanessa does." My new attorney, Marcus Chen, specialized in high-conflict custody cases. When I showed him the evidence, His expression went dark. "This is parental alienation," he said. "Severe, calculated, and documented. But Rachel, you need to understand, Vanessa Sterling doesn't lose. She'll destroy you trying." "She already has," I said. "The only thing left is my daughter's future." "Then let's get them back." The emergency custody hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. In that time, I wasn't allowed to see my girls at all. Vanessa's attorneys had gotten a temporary restraining order, claiming I was harassing the children with unwanted contact. I spent those weeks preparing Marcus track down Dr. Ashford's other patients. 5 families where mothers had mysteriously lost custody after their ex-husbands married wealthy women who became Dr. Ashford's clients. We found Catherine Sterling, who broke down crying when she heard my story. "She told Sophia I was a drunk," Catherine said. "Fed her that lie until my own daughter testified against me. It took 3 years of therapy for Sophia to understand what Vanessa did to her mind. She's 18 now, and she still has nightmares." Sophia agreed to testify too. But the day before the hearing, I received a package at my apartment. Inside was a flash drive and a note in a child's handwriting. "Mom, I'm sorry. Please save us." Emma, the video on the flash drive was grainy, clearly filmed secretly on a phone. But the audio was crystal clear. Vanessa sat with my 3 daughters in what looked like a private study. Her voice was warm, maternal, everything I'd lost. "Now, girls, tomorrow you'll talk to the judge," Vanessa said. "Remember what we practiced?" "Rachel makes us feel bad," Chloe recited mechanically. "She doesn't understand us like you do, Mom." "Good. And Emma?" My oldest daughter's voice was hollow. "Rachel tries to turn us against you. She's jealous because we love you more." "Perfect," Vanessa smiled. "And Mia, what do you say if the judge asks if you want to see Rachel?" 7-year-old Mia's voice cracked. "I say no. Even though," she started crying, "even though I miss my real mommy, Mia." Vanessa's voice went sharp. "What did we discuss about tears? They make you look weak. Now, if you can do this perfectly tomorrow, I'll buy you that pony we talked about. But if you mess up and cry for her, well, we might have to send you away to boarding school, away from your sisters." Emma's face appeared on camera, tears streaming down her cheeks as she filmed. "Please don't send Mia away," she whispered. "We'll be good. We promise." The video ended. I played it 3 times, my hands shaking with rage and heartbreak, before I called Marcus. "We have her," he said simply. "Rachel, we have her." The courtroom was packed. Vanessa sat with David and a team of 5 attorneys, looking serene in a white power suit. She smiled at me, confident in her victory. Judge Harold Morrison was a veteran of family court, known for his no-nonsense approach. He reviewed the evidence packet Marcus had prepared, his expression unreadable. Then Marcus played the video. I watched Vanessa's composure crack as her own voice filled the courtroom. David's face went white. One of Vanessa's attorneys actually stood up and walked out. When it finished, the silence was deafening. "Your Honor," Vanessa's lead attorney began, "this video was obtained illegally by a 12-year-old child trying to save herself and her sisters from psychological abuse." Judge Morrison cut him off. His voice was ice. "I've reviewed Dr. Ashford's notes. I've read testimony from Ms. Catherine Sterling about Ms. Sterling's previous attempts at parental alienation. I've heard expert testimony about the systematic nature of this abuse." He turned to Vanessa. "Ms. Sterling, in 30 years on this bench, I've seen many forms of child abuse. Physical, sexual, neglect. But what you've done to these children, weaponizing their own minds against their mother, manipulating their reality, threatening them with separation from each other, is among the most insidious I've encountered." Vanessa's mask finally fell. "Those children love me. I gave them everything." "You gave them trauma," the judge said flatly. "Mr. Peterson, stand up." David rose, looking like he might be sick. "Did you know about this?" David's voice broke. "I thought Vanessa was just being a good stepmother. I thought Rachel was... I was wrong. I was so wrong. You enabled the abuse of your own children." Judge Morrison's disgust was palpable. I'm awarding sole custody to Miss Torres, effective immediately. Mr. Peterson, you'll have supervised visitation only, pending completion of a parenting course and family therapy. Miss Sterling, you are prohibited from any contact with these minors, period. Furthermore, I'm referring this case to the district attorney for investigation of child abuse charges. He looked at the bailiff. Bring in the children. Emma, Chloe, and Mia filed in, looking small and scared. When they saw me, Emma broke free from the social worker's hand and ran to me, sobbing. I'm sorry, Mommy, she cried. I'm sorry. She said she'd send Mia away. She said we'd never see each other again if we didn't. Shh, baby. I held all three of them, my own tears falling freely. It's over. You're safe now. You're coming home. Chloe looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes. Are you still our mom? Even after everything we said? Always, I whispered. Nothing could ever change that. Mia wrapped her small arms around my neck. I never stopped loving you, Mommy. I was just so scared. Behind us, I heard Vanessa screaming. Her. Attorneys trying to restrain her as security moved in. David was on his knees, head in his hands. But I didn't care about them anymore. I had my daughters back. 6 months later, the apartment was small, but it was ours. Emma's artwork covered the refrigerator. Chloe's books overflowed the shelves. Mia's laughter echoed through the rooms. Dr. Sarah Kim, our family therapist, had worked miracles. The girls understood now that they'd been manipulated, that the things they'd said and done weren't their fault. Emma still had nightmares sometimes, waking up screaming that Vanessa was taking Mia away. But we were healing. David had divorced Vanessa and moved into a modest condo. His visitation had graduated to unsupervised, but the girls were cautious with him. Trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild. Vanessa had been charged with multiple counts of child abuse and fraud. Dr. Ashford had been billing insurance for fake diagnoses. The trial was ongoing, but her empire was crumbling. 3 more families had come forward with similar stories. Catherine Sterling had flown out to meet us, bringing Sophia. The 2 girls spent hours comparing their experiences, finding comfort in shared understanding. They'd formed a support group for children of parental alienation, turning their trauma into purpose. Tonight, as I tucked Mia into bed, she looked up at me with her father's eyes and my smile. Mommy, she said, will you always be here when I wake up? Always, I promised. No one will ever take me from you again. She nodded, satisfied, and closed her eyes. In the kitchen, Emma was doing homework while Chloe sketched. Normal, beautiful, ordinary moments I'd thought I'd lost forever. My phone buzzed. A text from Nicole. Vanessa got 15 years. It's over. I deleted the message. Vanessa Sterling was no longer part of our story. I'd learned that motherhood isn't about mansions or ponies or trips to Paris. It's about being there at 3 a.m. when nightmares come. It's about fighting. Battles you're terrified you'll lose. It's about loving someone so much that you'll walk through fire to bring them home. And in the end, that love, that fierce, unbreakable, imperfect love, is what wins. Not money, not manipulation, not lies dressed up as affection, just love, pure, true, and powerful enough to break through any darkness. Mom? Emma called. Can you help me with this math problem? Coming, sweetheart. And as I walked toward my daughter, I smiled. We were home. The end.